Hey YouTube, just got my brand new GoPro Hero 5 and wanted to try it out. So what better to shoot a video of than of a truck, right? So I got a lot of ideas for my truck builds off of YouTube, watching videos of what people have done, and so I wanted to put a video of mine and what I've done on there. And so if you're building up one of these trucks, maybe get you some ideas off of it, some of the things I've done. So just kind of a quick tour of it. This is a 2011 XLT 5.0 four-wheel drive. The first thing everybody points out to me is that the license plate is in the Squeako Boost location. The only reason it's over there is because I wanted a place to put my KC Apollos, and these are either 6 or 6.5 inch, I don't remember which. And on the 5.0s there's nothing back here, and so what I did is I got a piece of angle iron and went across the frame rails with it and welded tab mounts onto it and then painted it, and it's worked out quite well. They're pretty steady and haven't had any trouble with it, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we have here. 5.0 badges, 5.0 Coyote. You can get these on Amazon for like $4 or $5. They also come in red and they have a few different designs, so there's something else for you. Tires, these are Cooper Discover ST Maxx. They're 275 70/18s, which comes out somewhere around 33 1/4 by 11.5 or 11 3/4, something like that. If you're in the market for a tire, this is seriously the tire to consider, really. I've ran a lot of different brands of tires, and these have about 40,000 miles on them, and they still have a lot of tread left. They don't wear hardly at all, and these see a lot of dirt road driving too. They're kind of rough for a half ton, but they don't make a lot of noise though, and 40,000 miles, and I've never had a flat on these. Really impressive tires. I've really liked these. Lift kit, it's got a 2.5 inch Autospring lift on it. I know a lot of people on these was really afraid of the lifts because in the last generation a leveling kit, not really a lift, a leveling kit would destroy your front ball joints. And I've had this on here for about 40,000 miles, and the ball joints have not even started coming loose. So I don't know what they improved on these, but you don't have to be afraid of them on this generation anyway, because like as I mentioned, I drive down a lot of dirt roads, and they still never even started to come loose. So don't be afraid of them if you want the 2.5 on there. It works really well with this truck. Let me see what else we've got. We got tinting. I think this is 5% tint all the way around, except for the front windows. They wouldn't do 5% because I got it done at the Ford house. 4.5 foot, I believe, CB antenna. I don't know what brand it is. I don't remember. It works good though. Then a small Cobalt toolbox. I got this from Lowe's, and I think it was like $120 or something. It's worked out well. It holds up. It's starting to fade a little bit after being on there for a few years, but it's still doing all right. So let's see, what else do we got? Backup camera. This is mine didn't come with a backup camera option. I really wish it did, but it didn't. So I got a Peak brand backup camera, and I've had some cheap ones from Walmart, and in about 3 or 4 months the glass fills up with water and condensation, and you can't see anything out of it, and it just sucks. And this Peak one though has done really well. It's been on there for a few years. It's been through icy winters and snow and everything else, and has never even fogged over or anything. It's a really good camera if you're looking for a good camera. I cut my exhaust off right under here. There, you can probably see it. And I welded an 18-inch Magnaflow straight through muffler on there, and it gives it a really deep sound, but it's not really loud. When you take off, you can hear that it does have an aftermarket exhaust system. It is noticeable, but when you get up to highway speeds, it's pretty much silent again. So if you're looking for some noise, you might go a little bit less, but a little bit less length, but if you're looking for something that just rumbles a little bit on takeoff and idle, then the 18-inch works really well. I don't remember how much it was, 120 or something like that, but so yeah, it's worked pretty good though. I enjoy it for what I don't want a whole lot of noise on this one, it's just kind of a rumble, and that works well for that. So let's see, let's go inside here. So we got up in here. First, this is that peak backup camera screen here. So it's just wired in through the dash. And I've got my TomTom GPS up here wired in along with my Whistler radar detector. And I ran the wires up and through my headliner and took my pillars off and ran all my wires down here. So that way everything's hidden and there's not wires hanging all over the place. Also, you can't see the radar or the TomTom hardly from the front of the truck through this decal, but the radar can see out really well. So that's pretty cool too. It keeps everybody from trying to steal it, because nobody hardly knows it's there unless you're really looking for it. So this is I just put this on the other day. This is a mount for my GoPro that I told you I just bought. So I haven't tried it yet, but I just stuck it on there, and that way I can record what all these idiots do in traffic. Got a Cobra 29 LX CB radio, and I don't know a lot of what is done to this one, but the guy that tuned it for me took it apart and put about $60 worth of parts into it, and it works really well. I live in Central Texas, and I've talked to people from Canada numerous times when Skip is running. It's really good. So that's pretty cool though. If you want to get one of these are pretty much the same thing as the Cobra 29 LTD, is it, or something like that. It's just got the screen on. It's the only difference, in a different front face. Here's my switch for the KC lights in the front bumper that I showed you earlier. If you get some KC lights like that in your bumper, they'll come with a normal rocker switch, but if I was you, I really wouldn't use that. I would consider getting one of these switches that have the cover over it with a switch underneath, because if you bump that switch and it's wired in hot all the time, those lights will come on and they'll run your battery dead pretty quick. It won't take long, so it kind of protects you from that. I've got a stream light down here. This is a rechargeable Stinger, I don't know what it is, Stinger DS LED stream light, and I screwed it into the floor, and it doesn't interfere with see if I can do this. It doesn't interfere with the cup holders or anything. Just enough room, worked out about right. So that worked out real well. Under this seat over here, I've got an amp, because over here I've got a 10-inch Rockford Fosgate sub, and it does all right. It really surprised me. It does pretty good for a 10-inch, a lot more than what I need anyway. The other thing, of course, that you gotta have is the SCT tuner. This is a 5-star tune from Maxx Tuning in, I believe, North Carolina. And it took me a long time to really convince myself to buy one of these, because I was really afraid about what they do to the truck, about problems you could have with it. Does it really make any difference in performance, that kind of thing. And I finally just pulled the trigger on it and did it, and I can't tell you enough how worth it this is. They cost about $450 to $500, and the response time on the throttle that it has made is just unbelievable. It's a whole lot faster, and from this you can tune up, you can make changes to the way the truck runs. You make changes to nearly anything you want to on the truck with this. Pretty much just makes it to where you have total control over everything on the truck. They come with several different tunes: economy tunes, power tunes, racing tunes, normal performance, towing, whatever. And so you can get however many of them you want. I got 3 of them on this one. I usually leave it on the 89 octane performance tow tune, and I've had this on there for probably about 10,000 miles, and I haven't had any trouble with it. And I'm pretty easy on the truck, but I have got hard on it a couple times playing with it. And I do pull a trailer a lot, and have had no lights come on, no codes thrown, anything. One thing is though, is that you need to get a good brand one. I wouldn't go buy some tuner from Walmart and plug it into your $45,000 truck and trust it. I mean, get one from Maxx or something, one that's really good, and you won't have any trouble with it. The other thing I wanted to point out that I've done to all my trucks that I've really liked is you'll notice that even with all these accessories that plug in to 12-volt cigarette lighter, all my cigarette lighters are free. So what I did, and this is a really cool idea, is get you a hot wire from AutoZone. Run you a hot wire just from AutoZone, run it to the battery, run it through your firewall under there, up under your dash, and then buy a little simple replacement cigarette lighter and plug it into that wire and zip tie under your dash. And after you get it zipped under your dash, buy one of those 4-port or 5-port cigarette lighter chargers that they plug into a single cigarette lighter, and it's like a strip of lighters, and you can use them for power and 12-volt stuff in your truck. Plug that into the single one, zip tie it up under your dash, and then just run all of your stuff to that strip, that power strip under there, and then you have all your accessories and no wires running anywhere, and all your ports are open and free. So that's pretty cool. Something I forgot to point out on the leveling kits that I was going to mention. Online, there's a huge debate going on of people trying to figure out what size of level to get for their truck, and I went through this too a long time of just trying to figure out what size makes it look right, depending on what you want, of course. As I had mentioned, this is a 2.5-inch leveling kit, and from what I've found out by measurement is on this truck, the 4-door short box, and probably also the 6.5-foot box, a 2.5-inch will actually bring the truck to where it is level by measurement. A 2-inch will make it look level, and the reason is because that front fender well is cut deeper than your back fender well. They are a different size, and so a 2-inch makes the space between your tire and your fender well the same. It'll look level, but the 2.5 will make it level by measurement, even though sometimes it'll look nose high a little bit at some angles. So it really just depends on what you want. Like I said, that's for a crew cab short box or 6.5-foot box probably. If you have something like a single cab long box, those measurements probably are not going to be the same, because it's going to sit different because it has different wheelbase and all that. So that's just something else to consider. But yeah, I just forgot to throw that in there, so I thought I would mention that.